What was something you thought was a myth but turned out to be true? My wife and I met in Oregon, so when we moved back to Oklahoma, Arkansas and she was shocked to see a real-life roadrunner, I just had to laugh. Turns out myths can actually be real sometimes. I guess sometimes, reality is stranger and more wondrous than fiction. Yo, when I first drove into Italy from Switzerland, I thought the whole gesticulating thing was just a stereotype. But, like, not even 5 minutes in, I see this dude on the side of the road talking on the phone. And he's using both his hands to make this pleating motion to a phone. And I'm like, holy quack and cheese, this is real. This is like, a common thing here. Mind-blowing, man. Wow, I still do think it's a stereotype. I guess I should travel more, haha. So, I was dating this girl from Washington and I brought her home to Massachusetts. And we're just hanging out and I'm like, yo, let's go catch fireflies, you know? And she's just like, whatever. But, I'm telling you man, I grab a jar and I hammer some air holes in the lid and she's just staring at me like I'm crazy. But, I'm not gonna let her off the hook that easily. I pretty much drag her outside and she sees the fireflies and starts crying. Like, crying man. She thought they were just some kind of fairy tale or something. I couldn't believe it. I would honestly cry because of how beautiful the sight would be of all those beautiful insects. So, I'm living in Saudi Arabia and Pakistan as a kid, right? And I'm loving the food, but I had never heard of pizza. I'm talking like, I thought it was some made-up dish. And then one day, I'm at a restaurant, I'm 9 years old, and I see a pizza, and I'm like, hold the phone, this is real? This is like, a real thing? Mind blown, man. And I still remember the kids around me laughing at me, cause they knew and I didn't. And I even went as far as to Google butterbeer just to make sure that wasn't made up either. It's wild. I suppose this person will now get to experience the joy of pineapple pizza without any bias. Do I mean that it's nice or not nice? Comment below your opinion. So one time, I gave my sister $52 bills as a birthday present, you know, just to add some novelty to an otherwise boring gift. But then when she tried to spend it, it was a huge pain in the cheeks. People were like, what the heck is this? I've never seen this before. And at one store, the cashier even called security, thinking my sister was trying to pass off counterfeit bills. But the store manager was a decent human being and ended up giving her a $50 gift certificate as an apology. It's crazy, you never know what's real and what's not in this world. I suppose it is not usual for there to be someone so young with lots of money. What do you think? It's still not fair. Yo, I've been watching Seinfeld for years, like, just catching it on repeats or whatever. And, I've always heard it's a show about nothing, but, like, it never really clicked for me. But last night, I was going through it, and I was laying in bed, and I was like, holy quack, nothing happens to these people in the course of 9 years. Absolutely nothing, it's insane. It's not just him, I honestly have no idea what the show's about. Is it easy to explain? So, my 5-year-old cousin tells me her favorite type of dolphin is the pink ones, and I'm like, ha ha ha, that's cute, right? And I'm just patting her head and telling everyone, kids say the cutest things. But then, people aren't laughing and rolling their eyes, and I'm like, wait, what? Turns out, there are actual pink dolphins, can you believe it? I didn't, but it's true, it's real. All I can say is, are you smarter than a 5th grader? If you know you know. I always thought that the idea of numerology was just a bunch of hocus pocus. But then I did some research and discovered the mathematical patterns that underlie the universe. It was an unexpected twist in my understanding of the world. I think I've seen these fractal things which are patterns that repeat. I think they are referencing those. Either way, numbers are crazy. Yo, what's up guys? So I always thought bedbugs were like a myth. You know, like the old saying, don't let the bedbugs bite. And I thought it was just like a silly thing people said to kids before bed. But then, at 27, my husband gets a job at this furniture place and he's like, dude, we got bedbugs. I'm like, what the hell are bedbugs? So I Google it and it turns out they're real as hell, and they're like these little monsters that like stab the females with their genitals to impregnate them. I'm not even joking. Male bedbugs like shank the females with their genitals. It's like insane. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, bedbugs, real thing guys. Eek, what a strange thought. Are bedbugs common things? I thought mermaids were just a figment of Sayla's imagination, but it turns out they are real. Well, sort of. I was on vacation in the Caribbean and saw a woman wearing a tail and swimming like a fish. It was a mermaid performance for tourists, but still, I was convinced for a moment that they existed. Believe my friend, believe. The real question is, are mermaid fish? Are you ready for the grand finale? Today I want to talk to you about something that I never knew existed until just a few years ago: streaming services. You see, back in the day, I was born in the 80s, and growing up, the only way to watch movies and TV shows was by physically going to a video store. It was a real adventure, you know? I would get on my bike and ride for miles, just to find the perfect movie to rent for the weekend. It was like a treasure hunt. You never knew what you were gonna find. But it was definitely worth it. As I got older, the internet started to become a bigger part of our lives, and I started to hear about this thing called streaming. But I never really paid much attention to it. I mean, why would I? I was used to the way things were, and I was content with it. It wasn't until a few years ago that I decided to give it a try. I was traveling for work and I had some free time, so I decided to see what all the fuss was about. I downloaded one of the streaming apps and started browsing through the selection. I couldn't believe it. All of a sudden, there were thousands of movies and TV shows at my fingertips. I could watch whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. It was like a whole new world had opened up to me. I was hooked. It's crazy to think that something so simple, something that so many people take for granted, was completely new and exciting to me. But it just goes to show, you never know what you're missing until you try it. So if you're like me and you've never really given streaming a chance, I highly recommend it. It's a game changer, trust me. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and click the bell if you enjoyed. See you in the next video.